Okay. Welcome, everybody, to the Wrestling Pod. And today, we're here to talk about a few things. We're here to talk about the SmackDown results. We're here to talk about what went down on Monday Night Raw. And I'm here, of course, to give you the update on the future of the Wrestling Pod channel. If you guys could do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, drop a like, comment down below, and turn on those post notifications, that'd be much appreciated. We're going to start with Monday Night Raw. So let's get these out the way. So, on the heels of a blockbuster SummerSlam that saw Roman Reigns defeat Seth freaking Rollins to retain the World Heavyweight Championship, and Obafemi conquering Brock Lesnar with Brock Lesnar retiring. Brock, thank you for what you have done. Thank you for everything that you have done in the career of WWE and UFC. I feel honored to have watched you as a wrestler and a fighter. Congrats and good luck on retirement, Brock. You deserve it. Raw hit the Netflix airwaves with all the fallout from the premium live event. So let's tell you what went down. LA Knight interrupted Roman Reigns. Yup, that's right. Roman Reigns may have defeated Rollins in the main event of SummerSlam, but it was another prospect, number one contender, LA Knight, who interrupted his victory address to the WWE Universe. The combatants and familiar foes hurled insults at each other before Knight reminded Reigns that he had earned the title opportunity. So much so that the OTC had to rely on his bloodline minions to beat the megastar the last time they fought. He threatened to smack Reigns back to factory settings if they clash again, leaving the world champion seething to close out an electric segment that finally reintroduced Knight to the main event scene that he has inexplicitly been shut out of. Finally, somewhere down the lines, we had Reigns and, Knight, of course. Or actually, we did. It was a long time ago, though. But yeah, Knight and Reigns did fight each other, and Bloodline, his Bloodline got involved. So yeah, LA Knight really didn't get a fair shot. But we're going to finally get that here, maybe for Money to Make or Sunday. We do know that Reigns will be also competing by the end of this show. You will see what I mean by he will be competing or on Raw in Mexico City, Mexico, in a luchador tournament exclusively to Monday Night Raw. Javon Evans versus Ethan Page. All ego. Ethan Page dominated most of this match with Javon Evans, but was unable to put him away. Late in the match, with frustration mounting, he attempted to remove the top turnbuckle. The official caught him and argued with the heel, allowing Evans to leapfrog both men and deliver the OG cutter for the win. It was a quality match that interjected the show with some tough in-ring action. However, it was not long enough for somebody to make their big debut, returning back to the WWE in some awkward fashion. It was not the bout so much that made headlines. Instead, it was what went after as Big Cass made his return to WWE. Attacking Evans and leaving him lying, it was a physical assault that sent a message to the rest of the WWE roster and drew a decent amount of jeers by the time it concluded. Cass still has the tools to be a big-time player in WWE, and this was a solid reintroduction to him with a beatdown on a beloved babyface. And again, he did mention backstage in a promo, no offense. Everyone's going to get what they deserve. Can't wait for that. Liv Morgan came out for a victory speech, and oh my God, am I sick and fucking tired of this. But hell, with the grades so far, ladies and gentlemen. So this one deserves an A. This one is okay to be a B-. I'm going to give it a B-. Big Cass isn't really a big deal to me, so B-. But Liv Morgan's victory speech, and with everything that went down, yeah, you know what? I think it's good to have what we got here for a victory speech and what followed next. So, still beaming following her victory over Io Sky at SummerSlam, Morgan cut a bragging type of promo. Also put her Judgment Day teammates over, including Women's Intercontinental Champion Raquel Rodriguez with Roxanne Perez. Sol Ruca interrupted the proceedings ahead of her match with the latter. This was a quick setup promo that set up the idea that no one was left to challenge Morgan, despite Ruca having unfinished business with her. Perhaps that is the direction things are headed for the former Women's IC Championship. as she battles the Prodigy 1 week after dropping the title. So, Sol Ruca took on Roxanne Perez. For the second consecutive week, Ruca found herself the victim of a 3-on-1 beatdown at the hands of the Judgment Day. It followed a competitive match between the former Women's IC Champion and Roxanne Perez, in which Ruca overcame a focused attack and was on her way to victory when the heels intervened, drawing a disqualification. This is where the big time Becky Lynch made her return, shutting down the attack and staking her claim to a match with Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship. I honestly believe that Becky should take it from her at this point. She called her the worst women's champion of all time and that she would not let Morgan get to 100 days without defending her title again. As Morgan and the Judgment Day attempted to leave, Stephanie Vakir's music hit. And of course, La Primera made her long-awaited return, taking out months of frustration on the champion. And with that, the women's division on Raw just got a lot more interesting. And it looks as if that WWE is practically setting up for what could be a Survivor Series War Games. Looking at Roxanne, Raquel, and of course, Liv Morgan with 2 other people, as where we already got 4. Io Sky, Becky, Sol Ruca, and Stephanie Vakir. We don't know exactly who the last member would be, but that's what I feel like it's going to lead to. It's going to lead to Becky's team versus Morgan's team and whatever comes forth. This was another strong story development that suggests there is a long-term plan at play. Grade in an A. So everything so far, besides the B- for the match between Evans and Paige, everything looking good there. The Ruler speaks, and this was another great promo. Moments after a Brock Lesnar tribute video aired, Obafemi approached Paul Heyman backstage and asked the Advocate to share his gratitude with the Beast the next time he sees him. From there, the Ruler took to the square circle to address his weekend. I can't even pronounce that word right now. And put the locker room on notice, saying anyone who wants to try him will answer to him. As he exited the ring, Braun Breaker's music played. The Badass stepped through the curtains and came face-to-face with Femi, teasing a high-profile bout between the two of the biggest, youngest stars in the WWE roster. Femi cut a solid, if unspectacular, promo, but the stare-down between him and Breaker was noticeable, and it actually broke Breaker. Braun Breaker was broken. Like, that's crazy. Graded an A, and this was the most badass Braun Breaker's looked in months, and he's sick and tired of this. He's sick and tired of this vision shit. So, for this, we're going to get this out of the fucking way. This is a squash, if any. Distracted by the sudden desire to combat Femi or not, Breaker wasted little time in dispatching Hendry. Blindside attack, of course. The Badass obliterated him with a spear. After the match, Theory attacked Hendry, only for Alpha Academy's Akira Tozawa to hit the ring, attack the champion, send him and Maxine Dupree scurrying away. So maybe on Raw, we're going to get, of course, Austin Theory and Akira Tozawa. Whatever. C+. Chad Gable and Penta took on the Judgment Day. A longer than it should have been promo segment set up a new Intercontinental Champion, of course, Chad Gable and Penta battling Mysterio and JD McDonough in tag team action. Gable fought from underneath in the match, overcoming a lengthy heat spot from the Judgment Day to make the tag to Penta. The action broke down from there, with the Luchador delivering a Mexican destroyer to McDonough on the floor. Back inside, Mysterio attempted to load his boot and cheat to win. Gable caught him, though, preventing it. Penta capitalized on the distracted referee, fought fire with fire by blasting Dominic with the IC title. And, of course, Gable scored the win with Chaos Theory. This was a longer match that ate up the considerable time, featured 3 of the best wrestlers in the world and 1 of the best heels in the business. The ring work was strong, and the crowd was into it. So the right team went over. One cannot ask for more of that, which is true. So B+. And then our main event, the street fight between Royce Keys and Jacob Fatu. I'm not going to go into heavily detailed, but Fatu eventually, of course, applied the Tongan death grip for the win. Roman appeared and acknowledged Fatu. When he returned to the backstage, Rey Mysterio confronted him with some business proposal for AAA. They walked off camera to close the show. As it's been announced, as for AAA's development, it is interesting to see what Rey Mysterio has to offer Reigns and whether it includes a spot on the Triple Mania card for the OTC or the Bloodline. However, it was been incorporated that we will be getting a tournament from what Rey Mysterio has already officially confirmed. It will be a tournament to find out who gets what luchador. The best luchador in the world will compete in a tournament, and the winner of that tournament will face Roman Reigns in Mexico City, Mexico on, let me make sure I got the date right, September 14th. September 14th. They will have, of course, the Mexico City, Mexico show. So we do have that. Graded a B, nothing much there, but overall, this was a B+ show. It was a strong show from start to finish with great in-ring content, interesting storyline development with the introduction of new rivals, and a main event that reminded fans of Fatu's chaotic unpredictability. So big thumbs up. And of course, the Raw Women's Division stood the fuck out. So that was Monday Night Raw. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. We're going to move on to Friday Night SmackDown, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lot to discuss here. A Viper, a prize fighter, an American Nightmare, and a straight-edge superstar walk into a bar. After the usual shots of walking around, Cody made his way to the ring to kick off the show. As soon as he got the mic in hand, he demanded Orton come to the ring. The Viper didn't immediately oblige him. So Rhodes asked what the crowd wanted to talk about. After a couple of minutes, CM Punk joined him. Cody asked if he knew about Orton coming back. Punk said he had no idea Orton was there. He offered to go find Orton with Rhodes and beat him up together. Cody turned down this offer and left the ring to go find the Viper. As the American Nightmare was leaving, Kevin Owens arrived. He had a brief stare down with Rhodes, who gave KO his mic on his way out. So Punk and Owens came face to face, talked some trash, while Nick Aldis tried to talk them down from the apron. Owens has been sorely missed on WWE television, and having him back was a big reminder that he is one of the best talkers in the WWE today. He comes across as genuine, which helps him connect more than a gimmick would. This segment addressed Rhodes and Orton, Rhodes and Punk, and Owens and Punk all at once. So that is a plus to me. It was a pretty efficient use of time. Even if nothing exciting happened, all three guys played their parts in setting up the future encounters well. It might have gone on longer than necessary, but nobody is going to complain about having more time with Owens on the mic. So instead of a B-, I'm changing it to just a B. Baron Corbin was also shown walking backstage. The furry U.S. title belt looks even weirder when it's in his hand. Also, Cody took a moment to pay tribute to Dory Funk Jr. May he rest in peace. Trick Williams got a rematch for the U.S. title against Baron Corbin. Just days after losing it, Trick Williams was given a rematch in hopes of regaining his title he feels is rightfully his. These guys have a lot of similar quality in the ring, so they had no problem making this feel like a physical fight. In fact, it felt like they learned from their first encounter and had a bit more chemistry here. Their SummerSlam encounter was just over 9 minutes long. They had a couple of more minutes this time, so that helped. Unfortunately, the match ended with the exact same way with how Corbin won it. Corbin used the title belt to hit Trick for the win. With Williams coming up short, WWE will likely have someone step up for him. The next title shot, Carmelo Hayes, is an obvious choice, and they will next week, or well, this next Friday in Boston, Massachusetts. So, we are going to have to talk about this match right here. Fatal Influence, off of a big win at SummerSlam, now have to take on Chelsea Green and Tiffany Stratton for the tag titles. Oh, yeah. When the show returned from a break, like so, Chelsea Green came out to celebrate the winning the WWE Women's Championship at SummerSlam. The ring had a red carpet, balloons in the corner, and a table with champagne. She thanked the crowd for sticking by her, and she credited her fans with helping her win the title. She also thanked a little Tiffy before inviting her to the ring. Tiffy said she needed to talk to Chelsea about something, but they were interrupted by Fatal Influence. JC challenged Tiffy to a U.S. title shot, and she agreed for next week if she and Green got the tag team title shots right now. The celebration for Green wasn't much of a celebration, but setting up a future U.S. title bout while also giving us a tag team championship match this week was a nice surprise. At least Chelsea got some nice pyro during her entrance. The crowd had fully embraced her as a babyface, and she is doing well in the role without feeling like a completely different person, which means that if Ripley comes back, when Ripley comes back from a healthy and speedy recovery, Mommy, I can't wait to see you back eventually. Rhea Ripley may play a heel. She may play a bad guy, and that's all right. She needs some change. And, of course, I've listened to Motionless in White's new album, Decades. Go check that out on Spotify or Apple Music. Pairing her with Stratton was a good move, and having it take a while for their friendship to form was smart. Green, Stratton, and Fallon Henley did a good job in the match, but Lainey Reed's inexperience really stands out when she is in the ring with someone like Green, who has been doing this for several years. And it's not Reed's fault. WWE called her up too soon, and she does seem to be improving. However, there's still inexperience. It's the whole Maxine Dupree moment again, where everybody says that she's inexperienced, she can't wrestle. Same shit. The match ended with Henley and Reed retaining the titles thanks to some help from JC. It was a predictable ending, and it was also the only one that made sense. Lash Legend and Nia Jax attacked Chelsea Green and Tiffany after it was over. Owens and Zayn had a backstage moment. They seemed to be on good terms, but there was still some tension. Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes will never get rid of each other, and this is what's going to probably set up the War Games. Sorry if that was loud. The War Games for Survivor Series. Team Orton versus Team Rhodes, which I think is the direction WWE is headed. After a video aired for Brock Lesnar's retirement, once again, Orton made his way to the ring to make his first statement since returning at SummerSlam to cost Rhodes the WWE title and to keep Rhodes as a fucking babyface, which I cannot believe WWE did. He barely got to say anything before Rhodes ran to the ring to fight him. The Viper slid out before Rhodes could get to him. He teased going back for a fight, but he was just playing mind games. Rhodes said Orton owes him an explanation, and Orton said he's crazy if he thinks he owes him anything. He said Rhodes asked for this, for the best version of Orton, and that is what this is. Much like Owens, Orton has been missed. He has been in the WWE for so freaking long that his presence helped connect multiple generations, and he is such a natural in his role that he can make a feud with just about anyone entertaining. His feud with Rhodes may feel like WWE being repetitive, but now that Cody doesn't have the belt, WWE can do interesting things and have the Viper beat him on his way towards winning what could be his final world title. Number 15, which I want. I freaking want this shit. I want Orton to capture number 15 before he fucking's done with this shit. This was a simple segment, but it worked. Orton and Rhodes have so much history, but that's easy for them to fall right back into old patterns. And that's what I think WWE is going to do. So for here, it's a B. I think everything else I agree with. A C+ for this match, a B minus, and upgrading it to a B. So now we get to our main event, which of course was fucking sloppy, and it's going to get a D grade to a fucking C to actually a C+. C+ is what it's getting. It was Charlotte Flair and Jade Cargill in a singles match. They were at each other's throats during the Fatal 5-Way match at SummerSlam, so they both blamed each other for losing. With 14 minutes left in the show, they didn't rush to lock up right away. Once they made contact, they were fighting for control in and out of the ring. They did a good job making this feel like a personal battle right at the gates. I'm not going to go much into it. However, this was a solid performance, and it might have been even better than some people were expecting. They used their time wisely and made it feel like a hard-fought contest between two heated rivals. Adding a couple of big spots like powerbomb from the middle turnbuckle definitely helped. However, there were some other, of course, botches. There were some spots where Jade Cargill could not fucking get, A commercial for AEW aired during the break on the USA Network. Ooh, that is some fucking... They gonna get in trouble. I'm kidding. Shinsuke Nakamura also teased that he's bringing a group for a war against the MFTs. Of course, Shinsuke is going to bring 2 people with him. I don't know who those 2 people are. Could be NXT people. Don't know. To fight Tama Tonga and Tala Tonga. Anyway, the finish didn't look very good at all, but for most of the match, it was entertaining. And of course, this part, Alexa Bliss showed up to thwart B-Fab and Michin, but she had a brace on, and she brought, of course, her doll with her. Well, her real life doll. Tatum Paxley has officially joined the SmackDown roster to assist. She appears to have been called up from the main roster now, so Flair capitalized, hit the natural selection from the top rope. Whatever. Having Paxley make the save at the very end was a good way to get some attention during her introduction to the main roster. So, graded a C+. I cannot believe that WWE or USA allowed AEW to air a commercial. The final word, though, don't got to say much. It's great to have Owens back. It's great to have Tatum Paxley, and it's great to have Orton back. So, without further ado, I got to say this show was pretty good, and I'm going to give it a C+. It gets an improvement. It's a very big improvement. C+. This show's got a lot of things. It's still got things to work on, though. Still got things. There were some things worth praising, but we have to point out the biggest disappointment. Only giving us 3 matches across a 2-hour show is ridiculous, and the fact that none of them were longer than usual made it even more obvious. So yeah, now I see why they gave it a C. However, it's an improvement. So for that, I have to give it a plus. So a C plus to improvement. I'm not going to, and again, we have to live through a number of commercials. One with AEW for that matter on the USA Network. What the fuck is that about? WWE now needs to, say, fuck. They need to take SmackDown off of the USA Network, and they need to either put it on Netflix or put it on ESPN. Go completely move SmackDown to ESPN or move SmackDown to fucking, to Netflix, because this is bullshit. I think that SmackDown is lacking what they really want. They want 2 hours and a half, and the only way they're going to get it is if they move SmackDown to Netflix or to ESPN. However, here's the bigger problem. The bigger problem at this is WWE has already been locked in with the USA Network until 2029. So they really can't, they have no choice but to deal with whatever bullshit they're given, whether it's 2 hours or 3 hours. It sucks, but WWE has to deal with that. So that was SmackDown. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Now I need to talk about the future of the channel. As you guys have realized, I haven't been uploading. Like I say that I will be, I say it in every stream. Oh, I'll be doing it Tuesday, or I'll be doing it Saturday, or I'll give you another date, and I don't end up doing it. I think this comes from a lack of me being like kind of a little bit, I'll be honest with you, probably a little lazy, not pushing forth to giving you guys content on the days that you deserve the content. So I have some good news and I have some bad news to give you for the sake of the channel. The good news is that I'm going to do something very different that I hope all of you guys like and are not, because I believe that giving you the Raw review and giving you the SmackDown summary, to me, isn't helping. I've seen the views. So I've seen how many people view it, certain thing. I've seen how many people do, So what I have decided to do is, this is much of the good news. I will be uploading videos or I'll be doing live streams of reviews for the pay-per-views from now on. I will be doing the WWE pay-per-views, and I will be doing the AEW pay-per-views, reviews, and predictions. So predictions and review of the things. However, that does not take away from what I said about me, the Survivor Series. I did, unfortunately, not stream SummerSlam Night 2. But I did do the review for it. So, I promise to give you Survivor Series live stream. That is happening. That is not going anywhere. Survivor Series, War Games in Houston, that live stream is happening because I made it very clear to you. So, it's probably going to start with that, right? So, I'll tell you what. When we get to Survivor Series, War Games, that will be probably the start to it all. Okay. So I will give you guys when we get to Survivor Series War Games, that will be the first, and probably that will be the first pay-per-view that you guys will get a big review. We'll get the review, the watch along, and of course the predictions, the review, or the predictions, the watch along, and the review for me. After Survivor Series, I will not be giving you guys, and this is the bad news, I will not be doing the Raw review and SmackDown summaries anymore. I think that, I've made this decision thinking about it, and with everything that has been going on, I've been trying to help a friend out of a situation. Still a work in progress. So here's what I will say, and here's the change in the update for really the main channel itself. So, starting with Survivor Series, I will be predicting. We'll have a watch along, and of course, we will do the review. After that, there is not going to be a Raw review. There's not going to be a SmackDown summary after Survivor Series is done. So the Raw after Survivor Series is not going to happen. The SmackDown after Survivor Series is not going to happen. So whatever the next that will bring us to February. So I won't upload much for the next few months. But that doesn't mean that will last forever, because I'll do, like, I'll get to pick and choose what I want to do. If I want to review a Raw, I'll review a Raw. If I wanted to review a SmackDown, I'll review a SmackDown. You know, it'll come and go as here. But for now, I think I want to fall into a routine where I'm just reviewing pay-per-views of AEW and WWE. Because I kind of feel a little burnt out by doing every week, feeling obligated to give you guys the Raw review and SmackDown summary without, you know, like, without crashing and burning. I don't want to crash and burn. I shouldn't have to feel obligated to give you guys something that I don't, you know. I'm not saying that you don't feel that I don't feel like you guys deserve, but I feel I shouldn't have to feel obligated to do it. You know what I mean? So, but I did say that I would do it, you know, and I would have my cousin. My cousin hasn't been here to help me do this for quite some time, as you guys know. So in those regards, I have chosen to give you the good news that I will still upload here. And actually, I have been talking to my cousin. I've been in talks with my cousin about probably going back to old roots. And those old roots are PlayStation, going back to our GM mode, our universe mode. And we're going to sit down and work on that together one day. We're going to sit down and work on that. Maybe after Survivor Series or so. But yeah, I think, or no, not Survivor Series, Money in the Bank, right? Because we have Money in the Bank stuff. Okay, so after Money in the Bank, you're not going to get a Raw review or SmackDown summary. I forgot that Money. I just remembered Money in the Bank is in. So we're going to do it early. It's going to be in Money in the Bank. So I'm going to do Raw reviews and SmackDowns up until Money in the Bank, which is in September. Or no, October. So you'll get a Raw review when I, you know, hop on here and talk about it. You'll get a SmackDown summary when I decide to come up here and talk about it. So yeah, I just thought I'd let you guys know. So that's the good news. The good news is that I will still do pay-per-views. I'll still do the predictions and the review and the watch-along for Survivor Series. And then we'll go to Royal Rumble. So Royal Rumble will get a watch-along prediction review. Elimination Chamber won't. It'll be the 4 main pay-per-views that get the watch-along. So SummerSlam will get a watch-along again. And that one I will make definite to watch both nights. I do apologize in that regard. Again, the situation at hand is very difficult at the moment. So I just need time to, you know, handle this. Maybe if it gets solved or get handled, you know, and we get out of this difficult situation that we're in, I'll probably get back to it. But as far as I'm concerned, the good news is that I will still upload. I will still give you the predictions, the reviews, and the watch-alongs for AEW and WWE. But the bad news is that the Raw and SmackDown, the Raw reviews and the SmackDown summaries are ending. So yeah, I'm gonna end the SmackDown summaries and Raw reviews after Money in the Bank. So the final SmackDown before Money in the Bank is your final one, and the final Raw review is the Raw before the Money in the Bank. So yeah, I thought I'd just come on here and tell you guys that. I hope you guys enjoyed the Raw review and the SmackDown summary for this week. I will be back here, hopefully, Tuesday to give you the Raw review of this coming Monday. And I go back to work because I had a wonderful vacation. So I will see you guys on Tuesday, hopefully. Peace.